Hey guys, it's Grayson Riley here. We just wanted to spend a couple moments with you guys in the Word. First and foremost, we just hope you guys are all doing okay, staying safe, hopefully staying sane. I know we're struggling with that here, just being stuck in our houses, cooped up. We've cleaned our house probably 30 times, washed our cars probably 15 times, just kind of keeping busy. But we're really excited to be able to share a couple moments with you guys from the comfort of our home to the comfort of wherever you're watching. Just being able to dive in the Word with you a little bit. We miss you guys. We miss being at church with you on Sundays. And soon I know we're all going to be back to that. And we just wanted to thank Pastor Terry and Tracy for, their hard work, and the rest of the Destiny team for their hard work on keeping us all together during this time as much as possible. With the online platforms and all the work they've been doing. So hats off to them. And again, we just kind of wanted to spend some time here sharing something God's put on our heart, and hopefully it resonates with you guys as well. If you want to take a second here and turn to Matthew chapter 16, we're going to be looking at verses 13 through 17. And my lovely wife here is going to read those for you.
Yeah, so I'm going to start in verse 13. It says, "When Jesus came to the region of Caesarea Philippi, he asked his disciples, 'Who do people say the Son of Man is?' They replied, 'Some say John the Baptist, others say Elijah, and others still, Jeremiah or one of the other prophets. But what about you?' he asked. 'Who do you say I am?' Simon Peter answered, 'You are the Messiah, the Son of the living God.' Jesus replied, 'Blessed are you, Simon, son of Jonah, for this was not revealed to you by flesh and blood, but by my Father in heaven. And I tell you that you are Peter, and on this rock I will build my church, and the gates of Hades will not overcome it.'"
There's a lot you can pull from this passage. You can honestly spend like hours talking about the little details about it. But we just wanted to take a quick opportunity and use this passage to kind of challenge you guys to not just only read your Bibles, but to really dig into them, dig into what you're reading and study it. Because there's a lot that happens between the little spaces in the words from the Bible that we often read over or we completely forget about. And our first little challenge, we're not going to talk about it too much today, but we wanted to challenge you guys to look at the journey that Jesus just took his disciples on, from where they were at before to Caesarea Philippi, like that whole journey it took them to get to that point. There's a lot that you can pull from that just by diving in, doing some studies of the maps and everything. So that's the first challenge that we want to give to you guys, and encourage you guys to do that. But
the real point we wanted to touch on was the destination, Caesarea Philippi. If you look at it, this place is beautiful. There's a lot of natural resources there that the people did use to build structures like altars and stuff. And this place was known for its pagan worship of false gods, mainly the god Pan. We're not going to dive into what that looked like, but again, we encourage you to kind of dive in and read on that. The important thing to know about Caesarea Philippi was this place was enriched in sin and self-pleasures, and it's literally known as the gates of hell, the gates of Hades. Jesus even called it that.
So with all of that in mind, kind of setting up the setting, because a lot of the times in the Bible, it's not just the words that are important, it's really the setting that Jesus uses to teach. He's very visual with his teachings. And so again, dive in and study it, because there's usually a lot going on with just the areas he picks to teach his disciples and not just what he's saying. Of course, his words are powerful and they bring life, but the opportunities he uses with the locations in Israel are really fascinating. I know Grace and I both love studying that. She's actually had the opportunity to go see Israel, so I kind of lived through her on that. But, we kind of geek out a little bit. So, but again, done with my rambling here. With the destination, Caesarea Philippi. It's a place of chaos, a place of sin. It's really just anti-God in all of its being, right? And so that's really a valuable lesson for us, is that Jesus took his disciples here to teach them something, right? To have this interaction with them. And their reactions, I bet, were kind of interesting. Especially because Jesus just kind of walks in and is just, calmly walking through this place. He's not flipping tables. He's not, yelling at them, telling them to rebuke. He's not being hostile in any way. He's actually just being kind of relaxed, walking with his disciples, getting ready to teach. And it's this place that is completely against who he is and who they are and what they've been taught him to believe to this point. So
yeah, I can just imagine them, walking into this place and probably just being disgusted at what's going on. If you study what was really going on there, it's appalling. It's gross. And I'm sure that they were probably heartbroken to know that they're so close to this man, Jesus, who is the true God. And these people are here worshiping false gods. And I'm sure that broke their heart and broke Jesus's heart. I know.
And so it's interesting at this point, this is where Jesus turns and asks his disciples, they're looking at all of this pagan worship going on. And he asks them, who do these people say that I am? Mm-hmm. And that's really interesting because their answer, or the disciples' answer, is not one of saying like, oh, Jesus is just a nobody. No, like they're close to the truth, right? They kind of talk about these, famous people that did a lot of great things for the kingdom.
Yeah, John the Baptist, prophets, things like that.
Yeah, people who've impacted the kingdom in positive ways. But the important thing is like, even though how close they are to knowing who Jesus is, they're still denying the power of who Jesus is by being just slightly off, right? They're, trying to depower Jesus, I guess is the best way of putting that. They don't know who he truly is. And it's interesting that his disciples asked that, or he asked his disciples that. And then, from there, the next part of that comes.
Yeah. And I love too that, they're naming all of these good people who have done good things. And I'm sure Jesus thought, you know what? I am a good person and I am going to do good things, but I'm going to dive deeper into that. And he asked them, who do you say I am? And Simon Peter confidently declared, Jesus, you are the Messiah, the Son of the living God. And even though I love this, even though he was surrounded by, disgusting sin and chaos, and the circumstances were just probably not easy for him to declare that, the truth was rooted in his heart, and he confidently and boldly declared that truth. You are the Messiah and you are the Son of God.
Yeah. And that's, there's again, like little things you can continue to study on about the area. The area is full of rock features that Grace, touched on earlier. And then the fact is that actually in the Bible, God, there's two different words for the word rock that are used in this. Peter is one of them. This is where Peter gets his name from. And then the word rock that Jesus uses to say that I will build my church upon this rock is actually a different word that is a term for a larger rock than what Peter's name, I believe, stands for small rock or something along that. So again, I encourage you guys to read on that. But, the thing that Grace and I really want to kind of touch our heart about this is we're living in kind of some chaos. We're living in a world of unknown right now with all of this virus, going on. And, we're encouraging you guys, and we're encouraged by the fact that even amongst all of that, Jesus will still bring us to a place where he asks us, who do you say I am? Right. And by stepping out boldly and confidently in faith and declaring who Jesus is, even amongst terribleness, right, for lack of better words, Jesus will bring blessings through that. He will build upon that. And even amongst anything against him, he's going to use that with our step of faith, our leap of faith. So I hope you guys are encouraged by that. Again, dive in this passage. We really encourage you guys to do some reading, do some studying on it. And, in the meantime, stay safe.
Yeah, we're praying for you. We love you and we miss you.
Yeah. Have a good one, guys.